Hi friends, welcome back with a new amazing video from Nice Recaps. Today I'm going to recap a 2001 fantasy and adventure film titled The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. The film begins in Earth's second era when elves, dwarves, and humans were granted the power of the ring. Elves that are immortal, wisest, and fairest were given 3 rings. Dwarf lords, who are outstanding miners and mountain horse crafters, were given 7 rings, and 9 rings were given to the human race as a symbol of their superiority and power. These rings are extremely strong and powerful, and all these races must guard them. However, this isn't the end of the story for these rings. In Mount Doom, the Dark Lord Sauron forged a new ring. That ring, which can defeat the power of all other rings, contains a large portion of the Dark Lord's power. As a result, that Dark Ruler will be able to dominate the Middle East as a whole. At Mordor, men and elves begin a battle with the army of the Dark Lord, which they win to a degree, but the Dark Lord's army is far from extinct. The Dark Lord's fingers are then severed by Isildur, a king's son. As a result, the Dark Lord transforms into a ghost and vanishes into thin air with his army. After then, Middle-earth's Third Age begins. Isildur is corrupted by the Wicked Ring, and instead of destroying it, he preserves it. Orcs kill Isildur after a while, and the ring is lost in the water for 2,500 years. Then one day, Gollum comes across the ring and keeps it for the next 5 centuries. However, Gollum loses the ring, and a hobbit named Bilbo Baggins discovers it. Bilbo, unaware of the ring's past, preserves it. Bilbo celebrates his 111th birthday in Shire, where he's joined by his old wizard friend Gandalf. Bilbo confesses his plan to leave Shire for his final adventure during his birthday celebration. When Gandalf discovers that Bilbo has a Dark Lord's ring, he gives his inheritance and the ring to his nephew Frodo and departs on an adventure. Gandalf gives the ring to Frodo to keep secure while he investigates its past. Gandalf learns that Dark Lord orcs tracked down and tortured Gollum. Gollum disclosed 2 names, Shire and Baggins, while being tortured. Gandalf returns to Frodo as soon as he learns of this in order for him to be able to alert Frodo. Frodo is dispatched to the settlement of Bree by Gandalf along with his companion Samwise. While Gandalf is on his way to meet his wizard pal Saruman, when Gandalf arrives, he discovers that Saruman has been corrupted and has joined the Dark Lord, and that Saruman has dispatched 9 zombie Nazgul servants to track down Frodo. Frodo will be killed by those servants when they take the ring from him. Saruman also offers Gandalf the opportunity to join the Dark Lord, but when he declines, a combat ensues. Gandalf is unable to fight Saruman for long and is vanquished. Saruman kidnaps Gandalf and holds him captive with his wand. Frodo and Samwise Gamgee are introduced to 2 more hobbits, Merry and Pippin. When Nazgul appears, Frodo gathers his companions and flees. When the Nazguls get too close, Frodo loses control and tries to put the ring on, but Gamgee catches him and distracts the Nazgul, and they all flee. And Nazgul tracks them down at night. Everyone manages to flee and reach the riverbed, but Frodo remains behind. Frodo attempts to outrun Nazgul by jumping into a speeding boat. They then left Nazgul behind and embarked on a journey by water. When they arrive in Bree, Frodo discovers that Gandalf hasn't visited in 6 months. Frodo considers his options. When the ring's power affects Frodo, he loses control and falls down. He then unconsciously wears the ring and vanishes. Because of the ring's power, Nazgul learns where Frodo is. Frodo became terrified and removed his ring. A ranger named Strider takes Frodo with him as soon as he removes the ring, telling him that he can no longer wait for Gandalf, and the Nazgul are on their way to find him. Strider hides Frodo and his companions before Nazgul arrive. Strider informs Frodo that the Nazgul are captives of the Dark Lord and would not leave him until the ring is returned. Strider transports them all to Riverdale. They all sleep at Weathertop during the night. Strider hands each of them the sword and departs to inspect the area. Other hobbits lit the fire that attracted the Nazgul to come here while Frodo was sleeping. All of the hobbits brandish their swords at Nazgul, but he quickly pushes them aside and walks right up to Frodo. Frodo wears the ring in bewilderment, but Nazgul can still see him. When Frodo refuses to hand over the ring, the Witch King, chief of the Nazgul, attacks him with a Morgul blade. When Strider arrives and fights Nazgul, Frodo removes his ring. Strider forces all of the Nazguls to flee and takes Frodo to Riverdale with him. On the Dark Lord's orders, Saruman has begun assembling his army and weaponry. Arwen, an elf and Strider's sweetheart, finds Frodo and Strider along the route. Frodo is accompanied by her. She walks into the river, keeping a safe distance from the Nazgul. Nazgul summons a tremendous wave that washes the Nazgul away when she reaches the water. Frodo is immediately whisked away to Rivendell by Arwen. There, Lord Elrond looks after him. When Frodo wakes up, he sees Gandalf standing in front of him, rescued by a massive eagle. Frodo also runs across Bilbo Baggins at Riverdale. He tells Bilbo that he can't join him on his travels, but that the ring is safe and that he wishes to return home. Because it's not feasible to maintain the ring in Rivendell for an extended period of time, Lord Elrond, fearful of his enemies' might and army, summons an assembly of elves, dwarves, and humans. Men, according to Gandalf, can be trusted to destroy the ring. However, because of Isildur, Lord Elrond refuses to agree to this. When Strider arrives at Rivendell, he's reunited with Arwen. Strider is revealed to be Isildur's heir, who has stood aside from everything because he's afraid of Isildur's corruption. Arwen gives Strider her power necklace and chooses mortality in order to live a regular life with him. They kiss following that. No one was willing to go to Mordor to destroy the ring during the council meeting, whether human, dwarf, or elf, because they all knew it was a suicide mission. When it's revealed that Strider is Aragorn, Frodo, Gondor's true king, accepts the burden, and humans, dwarves, and elves prepare to accompany him to guard him. Before they leave, Bilbo offers Frodo his sword, Sting, and a mithril chainmail shirt. Frodo, Gandalf, Sam, Merry, Pippin, Elf Legolas, Dwarf Gimli, Boromir of Gondor, and Aragorn travel to Mordor with Gandalf. Sam, Merry, Pippin, Elf Legolas, Dwarf Gimli, Boromir of Gondor, and Aragorn. They notice that Saruman is keeping an eye on them through his spy birds as they travel. As a result, they shift course and head to Caradhras, where Saruman strikes them with a storm as well. As a result, passing through is difficult for them. They have no choice but to follow the mines of Moria's deadly path. When they get in Moria, they discover that all of the dwarves have been killed. Frodo is then grabbed by a thing that emerges from the water. Frodo's hobbit comrades spare him, but when the water thing picks him up, Aragorn and the mythological being battle it to save him. The animal was about to devour Frodo when Boromir cut off its hands and saves him, and they all flee to the mines. Moving forward, Gandalf learns from the dwarf's book that the Dark Lord's army is on its way to annihilate them. Then when a hobbit touches a skeleton, it falls down a well, causing the Dark Lord's troops to attack them. They try to stop them by closing the door, but cave trolls and orcs smash it down and attack them. They all give them a good fight, but it was difficult for them all to fight with the troll. Elf gets above the troll's head and attacks with an arrow, but Troll pursues Frodo. Troll had Frodo in his grasp and was ready to kill him when Aragorn arrived and attacked Troll in an attempt to save Frodo, but Troll threw him away, wounding Frodo. They all defeat the orcs and pursue Troll, killing him in the end. They're all moving in the direction of Frodo, too concerned that Frodo has died, despite the fact that he has not been hurt. They realize it's due to Bilbo's chainmail shirt. They hear horses suddenly approaching and rush towards Bridge, surrounded on all sides by a vast army of Dark Lords. Surprisingly, they flee the scene without injuring them. Then Gandalf informs them that Balrog, an old evil, is on his way. They take perilous paths to reach the bridge in order to save themselves. To move ahead, they'll have to take a longer leap. Orcs begin to strike from the opposite direction. Except for Frodo and Aragorn, they all advance forward by killing orcs and jumping forward. When the ground beneath them suddenly collapses, Aragorn waits for the right moment, then leaps with Frodo to join the others. Gandalf summons everyone to the bridge and begins fighting the demon. They're engaged in a fierce battle. Gandalf seems to have defeated the demon and banished him to the underworld. However, the demon suddenly clutches Gandalf's foot and drags him down with it. They all manage to flee, but Gandalf's death leaves them heartbroken, and they begin to grieve. It was an extremely moving scene. They arrive at Lothlorien, which is ruled by Galadriel, a powerful elf sorceress. They are apprehended and taken to Galadriel by Galadriel's people. Galadriel tells Frodo in his secret that he's the only one who can finish the journey, and that one of his companions will try to steal the ring from him. Saruman dispatches an army of Uruk warriors to find and destroy Frodo and his companions in Isengard. They go by river to Parth Galen, where Boromir discovers Frodo alone, and as Galadriel warned, and confronts him, and tries to steal the ring from him, but wearing the ring, Frodo becomes invisible and he pushes him away. When Frodo escapes Boromir, he removes his ring. After that, Aragorn arrives. Frodo is also terrified of him, but Aragorn assures him that he will protect him until they destroy the ring. Then Frodo's sword becomes blue and they realize they're about to be assaulted. Aragorn assists Frodo in fleeing and confronts Uruk-hai on his own. Aragorn puts up a fight for them all by himself. Others also arrive to assist him. Frodo's fellow hobbits implore him to join them in hiding, but they realize he prefers to go it alone, so they draw the evil army's attention to themselves, and Frodo flees. The hobbits were besieged by an evil army, and Aragorn, elf, and dwarf were fighting. Boromir arrives to help them, but he's severely injured by Uruk chief Hais, but he fights them all the way to the end. They capture Merry and Pippin as hostages after defeating Boromir. Boromir was going to be killed by Uruk chief Hais, but Aragorn intervenes and saves him. Aragorn and the Uruk-hai chief are at odds. Aragorn beheads and kills him after a hard battle. Boromir passes away after entrusting Gondor to Aragorn. Frodo and Gamgee make their journey down the mountain past the Emyn Muil to travel to Mordor in the last scene, and the others begin their search for Merry and Pippin in order to save them. We hope you enjoyed our video from today. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to receive notifications of new and interesting videos.